From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Tiger Cats Game Day with Courtney Stephen and Simoni Lawrence.
Welcome to Tiger Cats Game Day on the Ticats Audio Network. It is Sunday, July 28th, and the black and gold Tiger Cats are in Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, taking on the winless Elks, trying to keep that streak going for them. The Ticats are finally the favorite. It feels good to be in black and gold, Sim. This is one that the Ticats really need to win, even though it's not a must-win situation. Playoffs are not on the line. Elimination isn't on the line. But the schedule doesn't always line up like this where you have something in your favor. You got to take advantage of it this week.
You have to take advantage of it. And sorry, fans, if I sound a little under the weather. I feel like Mike Jordan flew Game 6, but I wasn't going to let y'all down. I'm out here about to give y'all clips. You can't let them down, Courtney, especially an Edmonton struggling Elk football team. You know what I mean? Teams like that, you'd say you just want to strangle the rest of the life out of them.
Yeah, you got to keep us struggling, teams struggling, especially when the Ticats finally got a spark after that close victory against the Argos last week. I mean, there's got to be some momentum that could be carried over. Yesterday's points ain't going to win today's game, but they've got to be riding a little bit high after that one.
100%. Just winning those games. And I'm even happy it got close at the end because they're used to losing games like that. A lot of games went the other way this year for the Tiger Cats. So for them to actually close the game out, whether it looked like they closed it out or didn't close it out, they closed the game out and they won the football game. So that's going to build confidence in itself in the locker room. And a team like Edmonton Elks now, they still haven't won a game. So, you know, when Butler break that long 50-yard run down the sideline for a touchdown, the whole team going to hit them with the, here we go again.
Yeah. You got to try and get out of the gates fast and have a big spark. And a lot of the trends in the games this year for the Ticats, one way or the other, has been special teams, whether it's a late field goal, whether it's a botched kickoff return, or if it's an explosive play. Last week there was a blocked punt with Ante Milanovic-Litre. I think this will be a game where probably special teams will have another big factor. Let's talk about one guy we usually talk about at the end of the shows, but Smoke Harris, he seemed to be making a name for himself a little bit, had one of the most explosive returns for the Ticats last week. Do you think this could be a breakout game for somebody like Smoke?
I'm still calling him Harris. I told him I wasn't going to give him he looking a little fast. He got like 3-4 more pounds before I could probably start calling him Smoke because a couple of those I thought he was going to take it to the crib. You know what I'm saying? So he's still Harris right now, but this is definitely his type of game, and this is definitely where he wants to elevate the team and get the momentum. Anytime you take a trip out there to the West Coast, you know you want to get the boys going early and fast, and nobody better to do that than Special Forces.
Absolutely.
So I look forward to watching Harris do something.
Absolutely. And the return game, it takes a lot of people. I think Ante has been stepping up. And, you know, we were really asking who was going to be the leader on special teams, who was going to be, in your words, the guy who said, don't worry, I'll do it. If you don't want to do it, follow me. And I think he was a guy was at the tip of the spear. He's blocking people. He's contributing on all different sides of the ball. Was that contagious, and did that spread through the rest of the special teams units? Are other guys now showing up a little bit stronger, in your opinion?
Exactly. And it's like I was down on the sideline last week and I was creating a little war. I was like, okay, Litre had the sidelines jumping after that punt. After he blocked that punt, everybody was on a high. So now everybody walked by. I'm like, hey, two names, Litre, the special team demon, huh? So I'm getting, you know what I'm saying? You got to create those little battles within the battles, you know, because Litre did such an amazing job. And that's what you expect from veteran leadership like Andre Litre. Like, he does everything at a high pace, a high level. He's a four-way special team guy, and he can go in there and make plays on offense. And two names did good, too. CFL, Cartel, he had a really good game on that. He didn't get blocked too much.
Yeah, so you're going to need people to cover and, you know, bouncing back after giving up that kick return touchdown. That'll be one that the Ticats are definitely focused on. But I think, you know, it's got to be a three-phase game today.
Three-phase mess. And then, because, like, you got to understand, Elks is a struggling football team, and where do I find them being able to get life is in their return game. That boy back there, Leak, number 32, he's nice. He does it for real. Like, this is what he likes to do. This is what he is very good at. So they got to eliminate him out of this game. If they can do that, we should see some Bo 300s because they're going against a defense that sometimes don't know what 1+1 is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll talk about the defense in a second, but Javon Leaks, he's 6 foot, he's pretty big for a returner, but that offense for the Elks, when you look across the board on paper, they've got a ton of weapons. Obviously, Eugene Lewis, who might be one of the most complete receivers in the CFL. He can do the deep balls. He can win the 50-50s. He's not afraid to catch the ball up high. You got Curly Gittins Jr., which I think might be the highest paid Canadian on offense. He's out there. He had a great year in Toronto. And then you got Hergy Mayala, who was an ex-Ticat guy. So there's a lot of weapons for McLeod Bethel-Thompson. And they even got a secret weapon that's on the bench, won a few games for him last year in Trey Ford. So is this offense a threat, or are they a sleeping giant? Like, how come this team has no wins, but they got all these weapons?
The thing is, this offense is a threat, but the positioning of the offense is weird. You got McLeod Bethel-Thompson, who is a prototypical type of quarterback. You know, he needs to know that on this, if the linebacker's there, this guy's going to sit the route down right here, and he's going to put it right there. He knows where to make all the accurate throws. He likes people that knows how to run decent routes, not just run to a spot necessarily, but look, I'm going to throw it right out of this route at 18 yards, 17 yards. And that is why he is throwing to the most complete wide receiver over there. And that's my help me with his name?
Hergy Mayala.
Hergy Mayala is the most complete receiver over there for them this year. And that is just the truth. That's just me watching the game. And there's a reason that McLeod, prototypical quarterback, loves him so much. It's because he's everywhere he needs to be. He knows the routes. He runs great routes. He's not scared to get dirty. He's making all of his plays, and it's somebody he trusts. So in my opinion, I trained with McLeod in California, with McLeod, Jared Goff, Jeremiah Masoli, like some of the best quarterbacks you can think of.
It's a heck of a group.
These guys like people that understand the game and the flow of the game, not taking any away from the other two very good receivers, but for whatever real reason, number 11, he's the number one guy. But it stands at the still, you can't win the game if you ain't got nobody blocking for you, Courtney. Mm-hmm. Like the Edmonton Elks offensive line is atrocious. Like, it's just, it's atrocious. And it's not like they have every single weapon. You look at you just named all-star receiving core and an upcoming receiver, the number 11, and the running back, Brown, who is also one of the best backs in the league, which that's another guy that the Ticats is going to have to round up and make sure that he stays in pocket because he is very good. It's just this offensive line is atrocious. That's why I say for the Edmonton Elks, that's McLeod Bethel-Thompson, he is the best quarterback over there for the Edmonton Elks, the best quarterback, like stat-wise, everything. But the best quarterback for this Elks team is Trey Ford. Because Trey Ford, right, he knows the line's messed up, so he already going to be in panic mode, And you need to just create some excitement. Let that boy run, go crazy, and throw the ball up to Gene Lewis. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the Elks game right now. And the Elks need to bring some more people in the stands. They need excitement, you know what I mean? Let this boy give the Elks some life, you know what I mean? Like, McLeod is the best quarterback there, but the best person for this job is Trey Ford, and the Elks are dropping the ball every time he does not get on the field. And, like, that's just me trying to help an old franchise out. That team needs excitement. That team needs excitement.
I thought you were going to say trying to help an old friend, because we all know where you started your career out at. For those who don't know, the Ticats had one of the most lopsided trades in CFL history, where we got acquired 3 players, 2 of which went on to be like MVP caliber. Simoni Lawrence and Jeremiah Masoli came over from Edmonton in exchange for Carson Rockhill and somebody else. And the funny thing is, Carson Rockhill ended back up on the Ticats again. So we basically got this trade was for free, a bag of Old Dutch potato chips and some salary cap room. But anyways, yeah, Edmonton needed a little help. And I like the Trey Ford analogy or the comparison because he is very mobile, and I think he's much faster than a lot of people realize. He is elusive, and he's one of the best quarterbacks, Canadian quarterbacks in recent memory. When he was at University of Waterloo, really helped turn that program around. So he's been a
Oh my
winning
gosh, you hit it on the
person.
nose, Court.
Yeah,
Help turn that program around. That's what guys like that do. Like, he turns programs around, and that's what he would do. He's not going. Is he going to take y'all to the Grey Cup and win? No. Is he going to get people back in them seats? Yes. Put him in the game. My bad for interrupting.
No, I like that. You know what? That's the whole point of it too. It's just like you see what I see what you see. Is he's tough, and even on a defense. A reason why it's tough on a defense is because when the quarterback breaks the pocket, and is all bets are off. Like he can escape, he can throw. Receivers start freestyling. That's hard to defend.
It's just hard to defend, and a lot of teams want to play man against a quarterback like that. Try to keep a +1 on them in the pocket because the defensive ends, they can't contain them even if they wanted to contain them.
Yeah,
because with him, it's depth of the ball +5.
Yeah, you got to really get out there and set a fence around him and maybe just beg and plead, like, can you slow down? Because we only got 9 defensive linemen and they're all tired. Okay, so you got to give those big guys. So, matter of fact, let's talk about these big guys. The Ticats D line has been playing well. Dwayne Hendricks graded out as the best defensive lineman last week in the CFL. He is a force to be reckoned with at the defensive tackle spot. But then you got high energy Nick Usher, who has been making his presence felt for opposing offensive lines. He's going to give you some headaches. Casey Sales, he's Casey Sales. He's just a big, strong man. And then you got Brandon Barlow. This defensive line has been playing as advertised, creating a lot of pressure. I thought they did a great job last week sticking to the game plan, which was keeping the quarterback in the pocket and forcing him to be an accurate passer. Do you see this defensive line with the matchup against the offensive line that you mentioned isn't the greatest in the league? Do you see that as an advantage for the Ticats that they got to take advantage of?
Hey, look. Hey, whatever the game plan was last week, let's just use the same thing and bring it to this week. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the CFL is a lot of the weeks because you can see everything that I think Toronto offensive line is way better than Edmonton Elks offensive line first. So now Hendricks, instead of that 1 sack he had, he'll probably have a hat trick. Somebody's going to have a hat trick up front. You know what I'm saying? Because this is going to be one of those games where I know we're not talking about our explosive offense yet. This is going to be one of those games where Bo 300 is really going to be Bo 300, and I'm expecting nothing less than 4 touchdowns on that side of the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I'm expecting, and that's just if I'm watching the football the right way. But, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, it's gonna be that front that starts it all off, and in the back end you've got your boy. You got your boy Panna Baker at the free safety. In training camp, he turned some heads, and then it wasn't sure of how he was going to fit in. He was listed at the Sam linebacker, back up at safety, but he got his feet wet as his first career start last week. He's back in there again, and then you have the same defensive backfield, Rich Leonard and Jamal Peters on the corners, and then you got George and Talbot at the halves. This defense here, what do they have to do in order to win this game?
What they have to do is contain these receivers because it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be like, all right, let's just see if we can beat these guys. Let's just throw the ball up in the air and see what happens. You got to win your one-on-ones. You got to break the arms. Those 50-50 balls is 80-20 our way. Those 50-50 balls are 80-20 our way because they will be out there taking shots. Panda Baker got the start last week, and he getting the start again. And one thing Panda Baker going to do is he's going to be where the freak he's supposed to be. I think I'll take it to the point where I appreciate all the other DBs last week. They stepped up. I seen them talking, communicating. They was here. I'm high, I'm low. This I'm changing, showing different looks, doing everything. And I think that comes with they knew they didn't have somebody to lean on. With Goose, you can lean on. You be like, all right, I could ask Goose, and Goose gonna help me out. Now them boys look like they was all in the books doing what they was supposed to do. It looked good last week. I seen B.I. Brandon Isaacs is the defensive back coach. He came up. He said press. And this is late in the game where they was looking to score a touchdown. And they playing man-to-man, confident man-to-man. I'm talking about pressed up, just like the way you want to see it. So these DBs, they just going to have to win their one-on-ones. There's going to be times the ball's up in the air. Go get it. It's our football. Hey, shout out to my dog Talbert too, cause I ain't gonna lie. Talbert came up to me. He heard like 3 podcasts ago when they was playing Calgary. He was telling me how he slipped, and that's how the dude scored in the end zone, and he gonna get his feet wet and everything going smooth. And I'm like, yeah, bro, just keep the confidence high, bro. This is a long game. You know what I mean? We chopping it up, and then my dog scored the touchdown against Toronto. Shout out to Talbert. Welcome to the show, big dog. Glad you check in. And Panda Baker, your parents watch the show too, bro. Let me brag about you more, bro. Be a star this week, man. Come on. Be a star. You're a Western boy. Be a star.
Robert Panda Baker, he had 5 tackles last week. That's a heck of a debut. That's top 3 on the team. And I mean, you really just hope for the free safety to be somebody who, one, like you mentioned, is where he's supposed to be, and also as the quarterback of the back end, you got to get everybody else on one accord so that all the players who are supposed to be deep are deep, and all the players that are supposed to be up close and putting pressure on the quarterback and the receivers have the confidence to jump those routes and get in those passing lanes because they know the people behind them got their back. So if you don't see the free safety exactly affecting a play, it's indirectly with the rest of their defensive backfield playing free and taking their chances. So let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it a lot earlier this year. We talked about Tim White, how Tim White's the guy, and I believe Tim White is the guy still on the offense. Late in the game, he had a clutch 2nd down catch for like just 6 or 7 yards, but I thought it was one of the biggest catches of the game. Yeah. But can we talk about Stephen Dunbar Jr. because we can't overlook a guy who, he's playing the Z receiver, which in Canada up here is not really the most glamorous position. It's typically the furthest away, might be, 3rd, 4th option sometimes. He had three targets, 3 receptions, 55 yards, but he's getting hard yards. He's getting yards after the carry. He's averaging 18 yards a catch.
Listen.
Can we talk about these receiving core and how balanced it is and the people who are stepping up?
Exactly. And like I said, it's going to start with Tim. Tim opens up the field for everyone because when Tim is running these deep digs or deep skinny posts, it has to be respected. So that's where you see now getting a lot of balls to our, who do we love over there with Tim over there? Dude.
Shamar Bridges.
Shamar Bridges. We love us some Shamar Bridges, and Shamar Bridges has been the number 2. And then you go over there to Dunbar when, Bo goes through his reads, Normally you want to get it to the check down, bang, bang, check down. But Bo is bang, bang, go ahead, get some work. And then Steven. And the thing about Steven is he knows that his targets might be low some games. So he's going to make the best. I say Stephen Dunbar had the most clutch catch of the game in Toronto. He caught the ball, and when he dropped his shoulder pads, he gave the Toronto defender one of the biggest stingers I've seen. I'm talking about his body just went numb. And I know it sounds gruesome and stuff, but in a rivalry game like that, the way the back and forth was going, it just solidified everything. It was like, yo, this is our football field. There's no arm tackles. If you want to play football, let's play football. And, that's a long walk for a defender to take off the ground when they're hurt to go all the way back on their sideline in a rivalry game. And that's just a confident boost. So Dunbar is doing such a great job at, getting his opportunities and taking advantage of his opportunities.
Yeah.
3 for 3, 50-something yards. Come on, advantage.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there was 9 different receivers who caught the ball last week. Bo was 20 out of 29 for 270 yards. Tim White led the way with 5 receptions for 66. But you also had James Butler, 4 receptions, 53 yards. He also backed that up with another 50-some yards on the ground rushing, so he's a big threat. Luther Hukanavanu, who let a ball go through his hands that ended up becoming an interception in the scoring zone, short distance from the end zone, made it back when he caught a ball and then broke 3 tackles and scored a touchdown later on. So you've got a rotation of players who are getting their name called and answering the bell. If you're Bo now, what kind of message are you giving to this receiver group? Because I think they probably have the power to put the team on their back alone between Bo and these receivers.
I said we were talking about Edmonton Elks receiver. I said our receiver core is smoking them, and it's not even close. And the way that they're going to continue to smoke them is because they got a quarterback that's getting everybody the ball too. So now, if I'm Bo Levi, I'm going to the QB. I'm go after a game like that. I'm going to the receiver room like, yo, whoever run the hardest route, I'm gonna throw the who's open. So now everybody making sure they run their route. It's not. I'm not getting the ball right now. It's just a boundary route because it gets like that sometimes. This side's up, this side's up. No, they going through their progressions, going through their reads. So now all the receivers going to be guns and blazing. So it's an alley-oop for Bo right now. And then he's getting a good running game. Got to get that good running game from Butler. What I want to see from Butler this week, man, when Butler get to the second level, I want to see him take it to the house. I want to see you take it to the house, Butler. It's time to take them to the house, baby. Let's go. Let's take it to the house. High knees, baby.
James Butler had a long rush of 11 yards. I know after that block punt, he had that 10, 11-yard rush just for a touchdown right into the end zone. And then later in the game, he had a 47-yard reception down the sideline. So definitely a game breaker and somebody that needs to be involved. James Butler is core to this team. So what's he thinking at this point in the year? He's hurt a little bit, came back. Do you think that he's a guy who his confidence is up right now? Is he still finding his feet? Is he getting his feet wet still, or is this is his and he's ready to just take over?
I think James Butler needs to put some games back to back. He's one of those guys where he gets better throughout the season. I think James Butler, if he gets another big game like the one he had last game, I think he would want to see himself breaking a little more tackles on the second level and getting into the secondary and scoring. But he'll continue to get better. Right now, I say he's probably sitting at like an 80%. You know what I'm saying? A big game right now, he'll put him back into that all-star caliber. And then he is ready to rock. It's almost Labor Day, It's almost Labor Day, Courtney. Them tickets is already on sale. It's popping. It's almost Labor Day, baby. You know how the players start getting around Labor Day. Checks need to be earned. So I feel like Butler got something to take, save it for us a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. And, the Ticats schedule after this game is, Montreal twice, then Edmonton again, then Winnipeg, and then it's Labor Day. So you got a few games here coming up that, Montreal's no slouch. They're probably the strongest team in the league, definitely the strongest team in the East. So you're getting them back to back, and then the Elks and Winnipeg, two teams who've been struggling to find their way. I think heading into Labor Day, it's not out of this world to think that the Ticats could have 3 or 4 wins. Now, it has to start today, though.
It has to start today. And it's a new season. Where are we at? The other part of the third now?
Yeah, this is the second third. This is Game 7.
Game 7. So for everybody that does not know, the season usually gets broken down into thirds. And when I say that, there's 18 games in the season, 6, 12, 18, 33. We just played 33% of the season. So right now what we want to do is we're starting a whole new season. The first part of the season didn't go the way we wanted. We were 1-5. But that really does not matter right now. We're going to wash that. We're going to throw it away. Now, new season starts. We're 0-0. What we want to do right now is go 6-0 right now. Will we go 6-0? No. But should we go 6-0? Yes. That's just the way we think. That's the way we want what we want. But to be realistic, we want to win 4 out of the next 6 games. And then you go to the next third where you want to win 4 of those next 6 games, and that will put you in playoff contingencies.
That's it. And so coming up on a lot of East opponents, this was only the Ticats' second game against an East opponent. They had played Ottawa down to the last whistle, and Ottawa walked off on a field goal to win that one and then beat the Argos. So now you have a lot more East opponents coming up, which those games almost in some way count for 2 because you're able to kind of move up those East standings. And there's 6 teams make the playoffs, so 3 from the East, 3 from the West. That's typically how it goes. It's a little premature to be talking about playoff scenarios, but when you're playing division opponents, that matters, and that's coming up after this game that they could steal from the West. So tonight, it's Commonwealth Stadium. It's the 0-5 Edmonton Elks versus
Our Hamilton Tiger Cats.
The undefeated in the second third of the season, Hamilton Tiger Cats, who are 0-0 headed into Game 7. And it's going to be an exciting game. We'll see if Bo 300 could get back up over 300 yards in this one. We're going to see which offensive player is going to break out. Can Robert Panner Baker outdo his 5 tackles from the first game? And will Dwayne Hendricks be the top-rated defensive lineman in the CFL for 2 weeks straight? Will Smoke be Smoke, or is he just Devon Harris? There's a lot of things we got to see tonight. But Simoni, are you looking forward to this game or what, man?
Listen, I'm looking forward to this game because this is a statement game. You know, Tiger Cats, we played a great game against Toronto. We had a rocking stadium. Oh my gosh, I was on the sideline hearing the fans scream. Best thing in the world, you know, hearing Hamilton fans scream. Now we all going to be on our televisions watching it at home, and we want to see Smoke be Smoke. We want to see Bo be Bo 300. We want to see Panner Baker get some picks this week. Y'all, you can have the tackle. If you got a tackle. I want to see Panner Baker get some picks this week. Go make a play, Panner Baker. I want to. Jamal Peters is due for a 80-20 ball against Jane Lewis to that boundary. They won't try Jamal Peters like that. They'll go hide.
I wish they would. I wish they would.
That's not somebody they're going to try like that. Sales is going to say less. I need to be the next high rater because I play next to Hendricks. I can't have somebody being higher than me because that's just my competitive nature. You know what I'm saying? Nick Usher and Barlow, they still competing. Nick Usher, but still been Usher Raymond bad. Barlow had a 3-sack game. I want to see him come back and give some smoke, but he did do a great job against Toronto against the run last week, which was impeccable. Let's not forget about Kyle Wilson, who had a tremendous game. I told y'all the matchup was going to be against Kyle Wilson and Carey. It was going to get a lot of one-on-ones, and he had 8 tackles, a forced fumble. That'll get you best linebacker in the league. So these boys is ticking. Tallberg over there at
yes, I was going to say Tallberg stepped up, but hold on. Kyle Wilson, that was his best game of the year for sure. And we got to give credit where credit is due there. But go ahead, Tallberg. It's your flowers,
and then we had a struggling Tolbert where we were critical on Tolbert. What Tolbert do? He said, "Hey, Sim, what you talking about, bro? I scored touchdowns just like you." So, you know what I mean? He went and scored a touchdown for us, too. So, I mean, look, I'm excited for this game. I like us by 40. Let's go.
Ooh, Ticats by 40. You heard it here first, folks. So 7 p.m. Eastern time, you're going to catch your Ticats playing against those Edmonton Elks. So if you're not going to be in Edmonton, you can check it out at ticats.ca/listen. This is the Tiger Cats game day with Simoni Lawrence and Courtney Stephen. And regardless of how it goes, life is like a sandwich, baby.
Either way you flip it,
the bread comes first.
The bread comes first. Get paid, stay paid. Pay me the stock. Let's go.
Have a great game day.
Tiger Cats Game Day with Courtney Stephen and Simoni Lawrence. Like, follow, and be game day ready.